Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So I posted a picture on Instagram about mid last week, and I've got the questions here on my phone. So my phone is in a current state of near death, so let's hope it lasts for this video. I'm going to try and not keep it too long because it's really hot here in Melbourne, which is why I've got my water here. And I need to have the fan off so that I can talk to you guys, but it's really hot without the fan. So I'm gonna try and not take too long. So yeah, let's get into the questions. So I'm actually really excited for this Q&A because I've had a quick look through the questions and there's been some really good ones. Really difficult ones, but really interesting ones. So let's see what the first question is. Where is the #1 place on your travel bucket list? Okay, so that's quite difficult because my travel bucket list is pretty long. I kind of have like one list for places I really want to go that I haven't been, and then I have another list for places that I have been that I need to go back because I love them so much. So two places that I've been and I want to go back are, okay, this isn't really the question, but anyway, are Florida and New York. I love both of those and I really want to go back. Travel bucket list. Somewhere I haven't been that I really want to go to is Vancouver and like the Rockies in Canada. Yeah, I would say that's probably top. I also really want to go to New Zealand, but I think Vancouver, Canada is probably top. Okay. What's your opinion on raw veganism? Okay, this is an interesting question because I think I know a lot of people that have done it or do it and it's really successful for them and they feel really good on it and that's cool. I think it's a very kind of personal thing and it's not going to suit everyone and it's not going to suit everyone's lifestyle, and it depends very much on where you live. If you live somewhere where like Hawaii, for instance, where there's loads of really good fruits and vegetables available all year round, that's really great. But if you live, for example, in the UK, where you can't get like good fruit for a lot of the year, it's not really sustainable. You can do it, but it just makes it a lot more difficult. The only thing that is bit trickier on a raw vegan diet is getting enough calories and getting enough protein. So yeah, I don't have any sort of strong opinion one way or the other. Some works for some people, it doesn't work for others. But you gotta listen to you gotta just listen to what works for you. Next one. What's your favourite accidentally vegan food? So this is quite tricky because a lot of accidentally vegan foods aren't gluten-free and I'm celiac in case you didn't know. See, if I could eat gluten, I would say things like Oreos or, I don't know, some sort of biscuit or something. But I can't eat those. So, does dark chocolate count? That's accidentally vegan. I would say dark chocolate. And if you could swap lives with this is a good question. If you could swap lives with someone for a day, who would it be? Wow. I don't know. I really try not to like compare myself to other people or like wish that I was somebody else. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really like into celebrities and stuff, so I don't know. Actually, if I could change, or if I could like swap lives with someone, it would actually be a dog. I kind of wish I could like see what it's like to be a dog. Yeah, so it's not really the same question, but kind of is. Do you pack your food when you travel? It kind of depends. I'm presuming you mean on like a long flight. So whenever I was coming to Australia, I didn't, because the airline actually provided food for me. I did bring some chocolate bars as snacks, but I generally do in the past, whenever I've been on a long haul flight, so like 9-10 hours, I have packed food, things that are easy because you can't bring liquid, or very much liquid, so like roasted potatoes, rice, that kind of thing. But you have to be careful about what country you're going to, because a lot of, well, Australia I know is really fussy about bringing food into the country. So if you're going to bring food on the plane, you really need to eat it before you get off the plane. So kind of depends. Usually I do, but I'll bring snacks anyway. Next question. How do you find the motivation to do enough meal prep for the week and keep it healthy? Okay, this is a good question, and I'm actually going to have a video up with a bit of meal prep in it in the next week or two. So what was the first bit? Oh dear, I've lost it. First bit was, how do you find the motivation? To be honest, I actually really don't like meal prepping. It's something that I don't enjoy doing, but I find the motivation because if I don't do it, I won't have food to eat during the week. Particularly lunches. Dinners I can kind of make as the week goes on. I can just make it in the evening. But the lunches, I hate making lunches the night before. So my motivation is because I don't like doing it the night before. So I do it at the weekend. The way, and keep it healthy. The way that I find is easiest to do it is on either a Saturday or a Sunday. Usually a Sunday. My lunch and my dinner. I make like 4 or 5 portions of that same lunch and dinner. So, okay, I know that's like might be really boring to some people, but I don't get bored like eating the same stuff. So I can make like 5 portions of something and eat it throughout the week, but making it at the same time as I'm making a lunch for myself or dinner for myself, I don't feel like I'm going out of my way to just meal prep, if that makes sense. But if you get bored of eating the same thing, you can like change it up with different sauces, or by adding like hummus or avocado, that sort of thing. Also, I can also do like more meal prep videos if you would like that. Just let me know down below. Also, got any recommendations for hair growth, aka foods or supplements to take? Okay, so my hair has actually grown a lot in the last 6 months. Like since whenever I came to Australia, it was like up here, and now it is very long. So foods, what was that? So foods or supplements to take. So I don't think it's necessary to take any supplements for hair growth, although you can if you want. But it's really not needed. The top tips I have in terms of foods, make sure you've got plenty of healthy fats, especially like omega-3s and omega-6. They're really, really good for not only hair growth but also having healthy, shiny hair. So things like things like chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, all that sort of stuff is really, really good. And they're also quite high in protein as well, which is another thing that's important for hair growth. So make sure you're getting plenty of like legumes, beans, lentils, tofu, whatever else. Also drinking plenty of water is also really important for healthy, shiny hair. And what else would I say? Also, like plenty of greens as well. Greens are always good for lots of vitamins and minerals. I think, to be honest, the main thing is having a variety in your diet. That's probably what I've noticed most. Having a good variety of fruits and vegetables to get lots of different vitamins and minerals. I think that's probably what I find makes a big difference. Also, though, I think that weather makes a big difference. I notice my hair grows a lot more in the heat, hence why it's growing so much in Australia. But that might just be me. Okay. Next question. When are you coming to California or Maui? Actually, I don't have any plans currently, but they are definitely, especially Maui, is on my top, is at like top of my list. It was pretty high up my list. So probably not this year because I've got quite a lot of plans this year. But maybe next year or the year after. But I will come. Okay. Do you ever miss your family? If so, how do you stay positive? Okay, so do I ever miss my family? That is a good question. I wouldn't say I have been homesick. Like that, like heart aching, like homesick. I definitely haven't experienced that. I feel quite fortunate that I haven't, and I think, to be honest, it's been harder for them. I have had moments. I have had a few moments where I've missed them. But it's more that I just want to like sit down and have a chat with them or give them a hug or something like that. To be honest, FaceTime has been really, really good. And if I can't FaceTime them, I'll give them a call. I think that has been really helpful. I do talk to them most days, and if I don't call them, I'll text them. So I don't feel like they're a million miles away, even though they're on the other side of the world. I'm also getting to see my dad in 2 weeks. So that's really, really exciting. And then how do I stay positive as well? I'm not like I might seem happy all the time, but I'm really not. Okay, I'm generally a pretty happy person, but I do have my moments, and some nights you just are a little bit upset, and that's okay. I think it's realizing that you don't have to be positive all the time. You can just sit down, put a movie on, and be really sad, and that's fine. I generally find it's when I'm tired, so I usually just try and have an early night, go to sleep, and usually by the next day I'm fine. Also, did you find it hard to make like-minded vegan friends when you moved to Australia? No. I found this really, really easy, and I've made some of the best friends I've ever had here. So I met Samara, who you've probably seen a lot on my channel and on my Instagram. I met her whenever I first came here in the first week. So I had spoken to her on Instagram for a few weeks before I came, and we'd arranged to meet up. So that was great. I would highly recommend doing that if you're going to a new place. I also met Evelyn in the same way, which was fantastic. Met her in the first week, and we're still great friends. We meet up regularly. And then my friend Mel, I actually met her through Evelyn. So we went out for lunch one day. So I didn't find it difficult at all. There's also been a lot of potlucks, which have been a great way to meet people. So basically, if you don't know what that is, someone organises like a picnic, which we've had in parks, and everyone brings like their own dish, and everyone just shares and chats, and that's a really great way to meet new people. Okay. I'm bored of tofu and tempeh. What other proteins do you eat? Beans make my belly bubble. Okay, so I actually have the opposite problem. I can eat beans, but I can't eat tofu and tempeh. But if you can't eat beans, lentils are great. Lentils are great. Quinoa is also a really good source of protein. It's got all your essential amino acids in it. What else? Green vegetables like broccoli, what else? I can't think. Kale, spinach, and that sort of thing. Also nuts and seeds, nut butter, that sort of stuff. Also grains have quite a bit. They might not seem like they do, but if you're having them in adequate quantities, then it really adds up. So Also, you can get like vegan protein powder if you really want to as well. Particularly if you're fine with soy, then you can have like soy yogurt, soy milk, that sort of stuff. If you could, oh, this girl has good questions. If you could only eat one fruit and vegetable for the rest of your life, what would it be? Fruit would be mango for sure. That's not difficult. Vegetable is a little bit harder because I love so many vegetables. Probably broccoli. I love broccoli. But I also love mushrooms and eggplant. Nah, probably broccoli. I feel like it's the most versatile. Yeah, broccoli. And a deeper question. Have you ever been in love? I'm gonna say yes. I don't want to say who, and I don't want to talk about it very much on the internet in case they're watching. But yes, I would say yes. Moving on. Why does vegan food make my belly bloat so much? Okay, so why does vegan food? I'm gonna say that it's not because it's vegan food that it's making your belly bloat. It's probably, I don't really know like what you're eating. Alison. Okay, so I don't really know what it is that you're eating. So that's quite difficult for me to answer. But it's not just like vegan food in general that's gonna make you bloat, because it could. I don't know whether you're talking about like whole foods or whether you're talking about like junk foods. Like all vegan food isn't going to make you bloat because, yeah, it just isn't. My guess is that you're maybe talking about like the fiber content of things. Whenever I first went vegan, I definitely got a lot of bloating, because of the vast amount of fiber, that I was eating compared to what I was used to. So if that's the case, make sure you're getting plenty of water to help process the fiber. But also it sometimes just takes a bit of time for your body to get used to it. Also, it might just take a little bit of experimenting and working out, because for example, things like tofu and like soy products I can't eat because they make me bloat really, really badly. But it's not because it's a vegan food that it does that. It's just, like, for example, animal products can do the same. Like dairy did the same to me. So it's not that like all vegan foods are making you bloat. It's probably only like a few foods in particular, but because you're consuming them, it's making you bloat. So you can't figure out like which one it is, if that makes sense. So it's quite difficult for me to answer because I don't know what you're eating. I don't know how long you've been vegan, etc. But I hope that's a little bit helpful. What else have we got? What are your favourite vegan restaurants in Melbourne? Okay, so this is a really good question, and I actually have a video coming out, or it might be out. No, I think it's out. Yeah, it should be up by now. It's on my channel, and it is called Top 5 Vegan Restaurants in Melbourne. So check that out, because there's so many great ones. Do you have a dog? I do. I have a puppy. Well, she's not really a puppy anymore. She's called Lily, and I love her so much. I really miss her. So, yeah. But I get to see her in a few weeks. I also have an older dog called Alfie, and they're both Cocker Spaniels, and yeah, they're back home in Northern Ireland, and I'll get to see them very soon. What was the hardest part of transitioning to going vegan? That's a really good question. I went vegan like completely overnight. I'm a very kind of all or nothing sort of person, so nothing was really difficult for me. The hardest thing, I think, was, I remember being very upset and concerned about what my parents were going to think. So I think telling them was definitely the hardest part, but once I actually told them, it wasn't difficult. And as with a lot of things, it's like the fear that you conjure up in your head actually is so much worse than what actually comes of it. So nothing was actually hard, it was just what I was creating in my head. But yeah, the fear of telling my mum and dad and them not accepting it was definitely the hardest part. But they were very supportive and it wasn't an issue. What next? Okay, there's quite a lot of questions here. We're nearly at the end. It's all good, guys. What first made you go vegan? I can maybe do a separate video on going vegan because I feel like there's quite a lot of vegan questions. But basically, I was following this girl, so I was in like the fitnessy kind of healthy world, before, and I followed this girl, and you probably know who she is. She's called Fitnika, and we chatted quite a bit, and I followed her for a really long time. Anyway, she went vegan about 6 months before me. I think it was about 6 months, and she would post. I still followed her, and she would post stuff occasionally. I would ignore it, as you do, and just kind of tried to brush it off. And one day she posted something, that I don't know, just kind of hit a heartstring, and I decided to do a bit more research, and then I was like, oh my god, I can't eat animal products anymore. That was basically it. But if you want to hear more about veganism or you have more questions, let me know down below and I can do another video on that. What else have we got? Okay, last question. From Amy. What's a food you can't stand? Okay, so there isn't actually one. I don't think there's a food that I can't stand. It's more like a flavour. I can't stand anything that's mint flavoured. So like mint choc ice cream or mint chocolate, anything like that. I really, really don't like mint. I don't know if that counts, does it? If I had to pick a separate food, there's just one food item, it would be like raw fennel. I don't mind if it's in like a little bit in stew or something, but like raw fennel in salads, ooh, no, I just can't stand that. So that's probably my answer. Or anything mint flavoured, if that counts. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you'd like me to talk a little bit more about veganism, I can definitely do that. So let me know in the comments. I hope I answered all of your questions. If you have any more questions or you'd like me to elaborate a little bit, just let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.